Welcome back to YouTube. Today this is a real short video of some things that I'm doing in the basement. The weather has been absolutely terrible outside. 5 days of straight hard rain, and I went to go get some firewood with the trailer yesterday, and I got stuck in the field and I destroyed the field. I sank the trailer and I was sliding sideways with the trailer all the way down the hill. So I decided to do some projects indoors today on my workbench. I have here a small spoon project that's going on. I had to order some new carving knives that are, there's 2 of them came in and they're outside in the car. I forgot to bring them in, so we're gonna try to see if we can test them out on this piece of birch that I'm using. Might turn out to be a nice spoon, or I can burn this again tonight if it goes wrong. Give it to the dogs. So this here, this is going to be a table, a real simple table for the JulFest, which I'm planning on hosting here at the end of December. Now Yule is on the 21st of December, usually on winter solstice, on the shortest day of the year. However, since Christmas falls shortly after, I'm going to be celebrating my JulFest on the weekend after, like on the 27th, 28th. So there'll be a video coming up on that. And this is the table we're going to hopefully use to put all our food on. We're going to try to roast a pig. I already organized a wild boar. And this table here is supposed to be an add-on to the camp eventually, which is really going to help out up there. I don't have a large table that I can move around easily. And basically all this is just 3 boards and 3 center boards. I glued them on. Yes, there are screws in there, but you won't see them when I turn it around. I use screws also when I glue this to keep the boards squeezed together real tightly, the pressures of the glue bonds at a much more efficient rate. These legs are going to be set to about that angle right there. These are 40mm beech tree wood staves that I had to buy at the Home Depot. I was originally going to go into the forest and find some really ethical looking branches. However, like I said, the weather has been really not cooperating the last couple of days, so this project got to come to an end so I can start with some other things, finish some older projects. And the Viking bow is over there waiting for me to continue, so that's got to get done. And there's some small things laying around here, and I got to work on the house and some things on the Jeep, and so is life. But this is what I'm up to right now, and we're going to try to finish this table today and sand it, and I'll show you guys the finished product. So maybe some of the steps in between if I can hold the camera while I'm drilling a hole. Basically, all I'm going to do is take my drill, and I have this bit. It's like a router bit for the drill, if I can find it. It's on the drill, and it basically is a big circle drill bit. Oh, there it is. I almost drilled a hole in the camera. And what that does is it drills a big circle, and it really helps when you're making tables if you have the right size bit that is exactly the size that you're using your legs for. Now on a piece of branch, if I was using a branch, I would drill the hole and then shave down my branch a bit at a time and fit it perfectly for each hole. So this is kind of cheating, but it's simple, and simple works good. And it still fits kind of tight, being that I also use this board here as kind of a reinforcement to where the leg goes through. That gives it some more stability from wobbling, so it sits a little bit more stable when it's up on its 4 legs. It's nice when the battery on the drill kicks the bucket on the first hole you drill. But just so you can see, I'm almost through. I have to just finish it off with the drill. I set the drill first to start it, and then I angled it slightly as the drill bit went down. Now I've completed the hole and I've cleaned it out. Now there's a little bit of breakthrough on the bottom there. but it's a nice clean 40mm hole. All these nice shaving bits here, they make great fire starters if you collect them up and dry them a little bit. Now I'm going to start, I measured it and I made a little pencil mark. So I'm going to put the camera down and I'm going to drill this hole and those two over there, and then I'll put the legs in and show you what it looks like. Alright YouTube, 4 holes drilled in the new table, and meet the newest family member of the Berserker gang. This is Gonza. Gonza is 8 years old. He's an old friend and he gets to stay with me now. He's Prince's new best friend. Right, Gonza? You're the best friend of Prince, right? You can teach him a lot of tricks. He's a good old dog. We love him a lot. We love Gonzo. He's our best friend. He's going to learn a lot from him. Yeah. Prince is going to learn how to be a good old dog. Yeah, Gonzo's checking out the workshop. He's making sure this is all, he's an experienced worker. Yeah, he's making sure everything's in the place where it's supposed to be and how it put together and clean and orderly. Is that all right, Gonzo? Gonspad, is that alles perfect? Ay, super. Huh? Super. That's a big stick, he's thinking. I want to take that and chew on it. Alright. Well, let's put these legs on and see what this table looks like. That'd be exciting. Now, I measured these legs out. They're a meter a piece. That's a bit much. So we're going to measure. I measured the height of this workbench, which is 84 centimeters. And there's about 2 centimeters of board, so it'll bring it down to about 82. So that'd be perfect. So we're going to cut these down to 84 centimeters. And the height of it will be about 82 to the surface, because the thickness of the table is actually about right here. So that'll be perfect. So let's see what happens after we cut these 4 legs and stick them on the table. There's the 4 legs in the table. Those were a pretty tight fit. Had to make a lot of noise. It's pretty late in the night. It's dark outside. Probably pissed off the neighbors some more. That's okay. They're already pissed off at me. That's okay. They need to learn that I need to make stuff when I'm home. I might have to glue some. But what I think is that because it's at an angle, it'll push itself apart and keep itself stable. That way I won't have to glue it. If I have to glue it, I'll glue it. That's fine. We're just going to try to not glue it and see what happens. There is the table. Quick table. If you have all the tools and materials, you can make this probably in about, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. If you have all the power tools, Viking power tools, modern day, yeah. And the materials, yes, the boards, some cross boards, and maybe some glue, and some branches that fit perfectly. Or, I mean, I went and bought these. These fit perfectly to the drill bit. If you're going to make this with branches, you'll probably spend about 2 to 3 hours, about an hour each on each side. So I'm going to sand this. This is all rough cut timber. This is just really nasty, spiky finish. So I'm going to sand this down some, give it a coat of linseed oil, and then that'll be a perfect table. I put a brace in the middle so it can hold some weight, so it doesn't sag if you put something on it. So you can do some work on it too if we need to outside. So let me sand this down. I'm going to put on some safety equipment, some eye protection and a mask, and sand this down. It's going to take about 20-30 minutes to sand this properly. I'm going to walk around it with a chisel first and take off all the big flakes like here to get down to corners so that I don't have to waste too much sandpaper and make too much dust. There we go. The table is sanded. I sanded it some. And it is very loud, so I stopped, because I'm sure in the next house over there, people are already ranting and raving about how loud the sander is at 6 o'clock in the evening, which is a terrible thing to do in Germany. It's dark outside, no matter what time it is, you don't want to make noise. They'll cry. So I will finish this tomorrow. I will post this video up, and I will post this video up, so safety first, of course. And I'll get this up, and when I get this done, probably tomorrow sometime or Monday, I have this perfectly finished. And if the weather quits raining, I'll be able to take it to the Viking camp, set it up there, and I was going to build another one, but I think one table is adequate. So Yeah, I think one table is fine for now. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to take this up there. I may have to glue the legs in. This one's kind of loose now after I pounded it back out 3 times because I wanted to measure the other legs by laying them up against this one, and to get it back out I had to pound it out. Then I put it back in and it stuck out this far, and then I pounded it back out, so now this hole is kind of loose. So maybe a dab of glue might help. And the field is not even like the floor in here is, so it may help to just leave it and then tap on the table so that it sits level, and then just leave it as it is sitting in the field and not worry about making these perfect. This is just a simple table. This isn't something fancy. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to fulfill its purpose and be sturdy enough to put some sort of heavy object on there without it crashing into the ground or falling over. Also, be nice to have a table when we do our archery, to be able to lay down your arrows and your equipment, and then so you can draw and fire over the table towards the targets, which would be very nice to have that in the summertime. We were lacking a sort of setup this last year when we were doing archery. We were lacking something like that, so this might be very efficient for that purpose too. And I may make a smaller version of this because this is kind of neat, and just make 2 boards and maybe just half as long with the skinnier legs there that I bought that didn't fit because I don't have a 34mm drill bit. I have a 35. That won't add together, so, or I might just not do that right now. But I was saving this piece of oak also, this board that I split off the board splitting project that I was going to make actually to make the sawhorse here, the shaving horse. I was going to make a small bench out of that. Still kind of looks cool. I think if I take the chainsaw and I kind of give it a straight cut just a little bit, not too much, I can get all this raw splintery stuff off and put 4 legs on it. And I will find branches for this one. This one looks, I'm going to go find some oak branches, shave them down, make a nice bench out of that. That'd be neat. Gonzo's hier checking it out. Das ist alles gut. Sollen wir das nehmen? Ja, guckst du, ob das okay ist? Ja, das ist fein. Das Stück, das sollen wir nehmen. Das Stück ist gut. Okay, alles perfekt abgeschliffen, ja? Yeah, Gonzo's my expert. He knows everything. Yep. Alright, YouTube. That'll be all for today. I'll catch up after the weekend to see if we got anything new. The Tagelhopper, I took some, was able to work on that for a little bit. Unfortunately, I got the Tagelhopper with new strings. Did some kind of makeshift engraving on it, and then the bow. I was practicing on it, trying to experiment what works best, and the bow just snapped. So I'm gonna take this off. I don't need this anymore. So the bow snapped on me, and now I have to go and find a new bow, or use the old bow because the wood snapped, not the strings, the horsehair. So I may be able to make a custom horsehair bow for my instrument, but I have to take my time and do some research and look at how that's made in different models that other people have attempted to build, and then I'll go from there. Be really cool. Are we ready to go upstairs and see what Prince is doing? Yeah? Okay, come. Oh, okay. Alright, YouTube, see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and I'll get with you back soon with some new projects.